been a long day, huh? But I'm going to keep it short. I think it's been, one sec, I don't have the clicker, so I think this will work. Okay, I think it's been a really, really exciting 2 days. It's my first AVPN conference. For a lot of you, you're veterans. You're all coming back for the second year in a row. So I've taken my cues from you, and I've, sort of taken the responses that I've got from you as being incredibly encouraging. So thank you for that. If I actually look at why are we all here, to answer Casey, why did we all come here? Why did we spend 2 days of our very, very precious time? I think all of us are here for one reason alone, which is to maximize social impact. I think that's why we join networks like AVPN, we run foundations, we invest in social enterprises, we do philanthropy, we write a check, we do charity, we volunteer our time. It's all with a view to maximizing the social impact that we can have. If I look at us here in terms of AVPN, what are we? We're all about creating a platform. We're all about creating, as Bhairavi said very, very nicely in the session before, and thank you for doing that, is creating a safe space. Creating a safe space to share, to learn, to enable peer-to-peer sharing, to share our experiences, to see where we can collaborate, where we can coordinate, where we can actually help each other, again, to achieve maximum social impact. If I look at us in Asia, we're young brethren of the EVPA. We're very lucky to have an older sibling that we're learning from. And we're very, very lucky to be in a geography that is growing. I think Asia is one of the most exciting places to be in the world today, both in terms of economic growth, as well as in terms of the energy and the drive of the people. I do think in the next few years, there's going to be not just fantastic economic growth, but there's going to be a really, really sort of steep change in the philanthropic actions that we see in Asia. Not just in the growth of the money that comes in the philanthropy sector, but in the emergence of a new philanthropic generation, one that is far more engaged and far more active than we've seen before. And I think that, again, makes it very, very important of why we are in this room today. If I look at what I wanted to get out of this conference when before we started, as I said, it's my first time. I was looking at a few things. Potential. Look around you. Look at the potential in this room. Look at what we have, not just in terms of financial capital, but just in terms of intellectual capital, in terms of human capital. I mean, just the 390 people that attended our conference, I mean, the potential is phenomenal. And once again, thank you all for being here, and I hope you go out and harness that potential. What's next? Innovation. We all talk about innovation. And innovation is very, very important, because when you look at innovation and you look at the kinds of problems that we are trying to solve, they're incredibly, incredibly complex in nature. And the resources that we have to solve them are fairly lean. So innovation is important. But innovation, I also find, honestly, is becoming a very abused word. It sometimes means everything and actually very vague, and you can't really point a finger at it and say, what does it mean? A couple of the panels that we talked about in the course of these 2 days, if I look at when we looked at the panel on foundations and people who were grant makers, there's a whole spectrum of innovation that I saw there that I didn't know. I mean, Yanni shared with us a fabulous story in terms of how the Narada Foundation actually gave a grant to its fellows, of which one of the fellows actually spent 10,000 yuan taking his parents for a vacation. The reason he did that was because he wanted to convince his parents that a career in the social sector was very important. I would say that 10,000 yuan was spent very well. And the fact that the Narada Foundation took that innovative step meant there's one committed person there working in the social sector. So hats off. Coming back, impact. Yeah, we all talk about impact. Impact is very, very important. Impact is what we want to measure. And I hope that the sessions, the various impact measurement sessions that you had a chance to go and be a part of today, helped in actually clarifying in your minds how will you measure impact. I know that we at AVPN, being just a little over 2 years old, are now just about getting in the process of measuring our own impact. measuring our own impact as far as our members are concerned. And that's something I think I want to promise to all of my members, is that we will do on a genuine way, because we think that's very important. If we can measure the impact we're having on your actions, I think that'll be very, very useful. Going back down, I would like to talk about scale and sustainability together. You know, Doug mentioned something in the beginning of the conference, which talked about making systemic change. I think that's what it's all about. How do we take those bold, innovative steps to make transformative scale, you know, to reach transformative scale? How do we actually make that decision to take that funding decision, which is going to like sort of go out there and fund innovation, fund that path-breaking sort of cause, that study, that research, which is actually going to have a huge social impact. Yeah, it's very high risk, but if you pull it off, it's also very high return. So I think everything that we did in this conference actually covers these 5 parts. I come back down to what the conference was all about. 26 sessions, 88 speakers, 390 delegates. Quite a bit to pull off. 29 countries and 244 organizations that were here. Lots of, I say ex-active venture philanthropists because, you know, we started with a fair number. I think we ended with a few more. And actually, you know, I think if every one of us go back with one idea that we actually got in this conference over the last 2 days and actually implement it in our organizations immediately, we'll see that there's far, far, far-reaching impact, you know, almost immediately. When I look at what is AVPN, what does AVPN do? We connect. When I talk about connections, I'm very, very proud. I'm very, very proud to say that we developed something called the Connector completely in-house, which was used to make more than 500 connections, 500 messages. Over 250 of our delegates actually logged on and used it. It was developed entirely in-house by Kevin. Could you stand up? Assisted by Kanfei and Amanda. I don't think Amanda is here, but yeah. Where is Amanda? Stand up. Amanda painfully entered in all the profile information and pictures. So thank you very much. So I do hope, even post the conference, you will continue to use the Connector. The Connector for us is in its first phase, where right now you can sort of see what different people are doing, what sectors, what geographies they're interested in. We hope to go to the next phase, where you can actually see deals that our members are actually involved in and you know, track that. When I look at the next, it's the network. When I ask a lot of our members, what is it that you value in AVPN? I think 95% tell me it's the value of the network. And that is what we bring. We are a unique network. We are a unique network of funders of financial, human, intellectual capital that are together in a neutral setting. It's probably one of the few networks where we don't pitch to you. We don't tell you that this is where you need to invest in, or this is where you need to give your money in. But we do tell you, learn from each other, share with each other, collaborate and coordinate with each other so that you can achieve maximum social impact. I already covered sharing, so I'm not going there again. Sharing, learning has all been very important. And you know what has been incredibly gratifying for me as I've sat in on panels, as I've moderated panels, there's been a very, very high amount of peer-to-peer learning. What I find from most people who've been very kind to come and give me feedback, they found that the content that was covered in various sessions was tight, it was very relevant, people were engaged. I think a lot of people came, a lot of panelists came and said, how did I do? I thought I did really well because there were lots of questions. There was lots of interaction. And that, I think, is, you know, a testament to all of you because you really participated. And I'm glad you got the most out of our conference. You know, I have a very interesting story. Doug and I were in India 3 weeks ago visiting a founder member of ours who actually shared with us a very, very interesting story on coordination and collaboration. A lot of the times we keep telling everybody, you know, collaborate, do things together. It's not always possible. As Victoria was talking about the large environmental NGOs who don't even talk to each other. But one of the simple things we miss in countries which are large and, you know, which have people acting in numerous places. So this member of ours actually told us how, her foundation was working on sanitation issues in Village A. There was another foundation that was working on power issues barely 10 or 15 kilometers away. And a third foundation working on issues of water, another 10 kilometers away. And she said, it was ridiculous because we each did something good, but if collectively we worked in worked on a common geography, the kind of impact we would have would be much deeper. So they actually got together and talked and said, fine, your area is sanitation, your area is power, and yours is water. Continue doing what you're doing, but let's coordinate and make sure that we do our actions in one particular area so that we can actually see deeper social impact. And that, I think, is useful. So, you don't necessarily have to collaborate, but coordinating your actions may actually get you a little further. So, hopefully that goes. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm coming to. Okay, before I get to the thank yous, I have something very, very important to do. We had an amazing pitching session this morning and this afternoon, and I have the results for that. What I liked was it was completely full. The couple of times I tried to go in, I couldn't find a seat. So I was standing at the back, and when I got tired, I left. But it was full. So thank you very much, all of you, for attending. There was a competition where people voted to choose the best pitch, and I'm very proud to announce that Thrive is the one that got selected as the best pitch. So will somebody from Thrive come down and take this? Because we actually have a trophy for you. So what does Thrive do? Would you like to say just a couple of... Almost. Yeah. Doug's a hard act to follow. Do you want to spend a second talking
Just
about
quick, I just want to say thank you to everybody that attended the pitching sessions and all the other organizations that presented as well. I thought it was a great group. Everyone's doing great things to impact in the different areas. And of course, my colleague Gwen that's here presented with us as well. But yeah, thank you everyone, and thank you, Doug. Oh. Okay.
It's right there.
Yeah. Excuse me, I missed that. So, quick snippet, I know that everyone is ready to probably get out of here soon, but we support small businesses in a couple different countries around the globe. We do it in a philanthropic manner, though. We will provide capital for them to purchase a piece of production equipment, and that way they grow their business, create additional jobs. But instead of them paying us back directly, we actually ask them to pay it forward to their community, so with donations of job training or products or services. So in the end, we're working to create CSR in small to medium enterprises that maybe hadn't known that was a possibility with their business. So thank you again to everybody. If you have questions, please come talk to me or Gwen.
All right, so I need to say my thank yous, and it's sad that all good things must come to an end, and this one must too. But it's been a really great conference, and I really want to thank each and every one of you for coming and for bringing your stories, bringing your experiences, and sharing them with us. It wouldn't have been the great success if we hadn't had the really high-quality content that was delivered in every session, and for that, I would love to thank all the speakers, all the moderators. I know we put you through a fairly rigorous process in terms of scheduling conference calls, scheduling discussions to go over your content, but I do think it was worth it because your content was tight, it was of very high quality, and very, very appreciated. I would also like to thank all our volunteers. This has been a pretty big logistic exercise, and we've done it with a team of 6 and a large army of volunteers. So thank you very much for that. I'd like to thank the Lien Center. They have been very, very generous hosts for the second year in a row, and have opened up these amazing facilities to us, have provided us with a lot of support, and have constantly been not just partners, but good friends and good supporters. So thank you very much. I want to thank the Hub, Singapore, for helping us put together the pitching session, and Anli for actually hosting that. Grace, for being such a lovely host. Thank you very much. All our sponsors and partners. Stacy will kill me if I don't say this, but please do register early next year for our conference. I was told very specifically that I have to mention this. And, we're going to be back in 2015, and I hope to see you all then. Until then, just let's go out and make a difference, because that's what AVPN is all about. Thank you.